Hello students, today we will talk about information processing model. The information processing model is a framework used by cognitive psychologists to explain and describe mental processes. This model compares the thinking process of human being to how a computer works. Just like a computer, the human mind takes in information, organizes and stores it to be retrieved at a later time. Just as the computer has an input device, a processing unit, a storage unit, and an output device, so does the human mind have equivalent structure. Let us let us have a look at a model of information processing. In a computer, information is entered by means of input devices like a keyboard, a mouse, or a scanner. In the human mind, the input device is called the sensory memory or sensory register, which is composed of sensory organs like the eyes and ears, through which we receive information about our surrounding. As information is received by a computer, it is processed in the central processing unit, which is equivalent to the short-term memory or working memory. In the human mind, this is where information is temporarily held so that it may be used, discarded, or transferred into a long-term memory. In a computer, the information is stored in a hard disk, which is equivalent to the long-term memory. This is where we keep information that is not currently being used. Information stored in the long-term memory may be kept for an indefinite period of time. When a computer processes information, it displays the result by means of an output device like a computer screen or a printout. In humans, the result of information processing is exhibited through behavior or action, such as a facial expression, a reply to a question, or any body movement. Now we will talk one by one about these memories. So the first is sensory memory. Sensory memory has very large capacity. It means it can gather a very large amount of information, but it has very less duration. And what does it contain? So it has raw sensory data which is encoded in same form as perceived. Now we will talk about the sensory memory's control process. The first process is called recognition. Recognition means noting key features of a stimulus and relating them to already stored information. Second is attention. Attention means selective focusing on a portion of the information currently stored in the sensory register. We know that our surrounding gives us lots of information at a time. Our sense organs can receive a large amount of information, but which information we want to focus now, that decides our attention. When we pays attention to a particular thing, then that information can be moved to short term memory for further work. Now, what is short term memory? Short term memory has the capacity of having 7 chunks of information at a time, or plus minus 2 of that. We can say that it has a comparatively large duration from the sensory memory. And what does it have? So it has what you are currently thinking about. The information may be from the sensory memory or information which is stored in the long term memory and you are using it right now. So it can have both type of contains. Now we will talk about the processes of short term memory. So the in its control process, the first one is rehearsal. Now this rehearsal can be of two types. One is repeating information again and again. Maintenance rehearsal means repeating information again and again, and it has no effect on long term memory storage. Whereas elaborative rehearsal means relating new information to knowledge already which is stored in a long term memory. It means maintenance rehearsal we are repeating the new information and again, whereas in elaborative rehearsal we are creating some relation between already existing knowledge to the new knowledge. So this is one process of controlling the short term memory. The other processes are organization, providing meaningfulness, and visual imaginary encoding. Organization means putting interrelated pieces of information into chunks, making a small group. Then meaningfulness. When new material can be related to information in long term memory, it means we are giving a particular meaning to the thing so that can be stored in our memory for a longer time. Now the next is visual imaginary encoding. It means generating images in your mind of objects, ideas and actions. So when you generate an image related to some idea, it remains in your memory for a longer time. That's why in lower classes when we teach the alphabets, we try to connect these alphabets with a particular image. For example, A for apple. Now we will talk about long term memory. The long term memory has uh, indefinite or unlimited capacity. Its duration can be permanent or long term as well. And what does it contain? It contains the schema. Now we will talk about one more topic, that is metacognition. What is metacognition? Metacognition is our knowledge about attention, recognition, encoding, storage, and retrieval, and how those operations might best be used to achieve a learning goal. It means metacognition can help us to get the knowledge, to receive the knowledge, to keep it for a longer time also. Now how is uh, information processing model can help us in our classroom? So teachers can help students to find out the critical elements of the information. It means they can teach their students to prioritize the information. The students should be able to prioritize which information is of more importance. Now as a teacher we should be sure that we get the full attention of the students in our classroom. Try to make connections with these students so that they will be more attentive in your class. And we should, as a teacher, should also try to connect their previous knowledge to the new knowledge. Similarly, we should provide them uh, uh, enough chances for repetition and review of information. We should present the material in clear manner and should try that the students understand the meaning of the information nicely. Thank you.